Hey, it's Onesto. I first learned about MPE when I watched La La Land. There's a scene where Ryan Gosling is playing a Rolly Seaboard and it looked really interesting, but I had a ton of questions. And after learning more about it, it was clear that MPE is really cool, has a lot of potential for musicians, but whenever I would watch demos, they made me feel like MPE players need to have some choreographed performance. So I wondered, how do normal people actually use MPE? And after spending a lot of time with different MPE devices, I'm going to share some insights for anyone new to the expressive world of MPE. So let's start with a quick answer to the question, what is MPE? And there's a lot that can be said, but all you have to know is that MPE, or MIDI Polyphonic Expression, gives you way more expressive control of the notes you're playing. Standard MIDI primarily carries data for pitch and when a note is on or off, but MPE can carry way more data for parameters like pitch bend, timbre, and pressure, all on a per note basis. This opens up a lot of new expressive ways to play. For example, I found this fun lead inside Noisy 2. I find that many leads really benefit from two gestures: aftertouch, which is further pressing into a key that's held, and pitch bending, which is just wiggling the key on the Osmos from expressive E like this. You can already see that with MPE, I can be way more expressive compared to standard MIDI. In this example, aftertouch is doing a lot. It's opening up the filter cutoff, it's modulating the wave shape, and even adding in more drive. And when you combine that with wiggling the key for pitch bend, you can squeeze so much more emotion out of it. By the way, in this video, you'll see me use the Osmos from Expressive E a ton because they're sponsoring this video. It's been a lot of fun with Osmos. It has an onboard synthesizer with a user-friendly workflow, and I think it offers the shortest learning curve because it looks and responds just like piano keys, but with a lot of MPE gestures. Now let me show you how MPE enhances a polyphonic sound like the CS80 inspired preset from Osmos. And one thing I think you'll love doing is using the press gesture to swell in your chords. And since MPE devices can send data on a per note basis, that means I can do these cool chord moves with my left hand while pitch bending a melody line with my right hand all at once. This is what makes MPE worth paying attention to. You can do all these subtle articulations independently from one another, and it actually matters. You can hear the difference in how you choose to perform. MPE doesn't just have to be a cool gimmick, it can actually become a part of your playstyle. And a gesture I want to see more presets use is tapping a key. With this Osmos preset, when I tap the key, we'll hear a soft sign pluck, but when we hold down the key, we start to hear some strings. I immediately fell in love with this preset because it creates such a beautiful juxtaposition that I don't really hear with standard MIDI. Tons of presets, they have layered sounds, but not quite like this. The way you perform controls what layers you hear, which is such an interesting idea, and I just can't stop playing with it. When it comes to pads, I think this is where it's easy to have a lot of fun. I think pads and MPE are like peanut butter and jelly. Pads utilize a lot of MPE gestures, and it's easy to get carried away in the best way possible. This preset from Equator 2 combines aftertouch, pitch wobble, fluttering, and that swelling technique from earlier. The per note control is really key. By manipulating parameters like pitch bend and pressure per note, you can create complex sonic textures and dynamics, which is technically possible with standard MIDI, but MPE just makes it so easy and way more fun. So there are actually more MPE gestures, but I wanted to show you the ones that I think you'll actually use a lot. And even though I raved a bunch about MPE, there are still some sore spots getting in the way of it, breaking it into the mainstream. The first is the cost of MPE devices. We're at a point where there's plenty of MPE compatible controllers. Hardware designers, they are making really unique, unusual devices, and every year there are new and exciting products. I like playing things that look like keyboards, so I spent time with Rolly Seaboard Block, Rolly Lumi, and Osmos from Expressive E. All three of these devices are solid, but regardless of which MPE controller you're interested in, chances are that it's going to be really pricey. And for many of you diving into MPE for the first time, this is sort of a risk. I think MPE is great, but that doesn't mean you will. And it's unfortunate that entry into MPE can be an expensive one. But it is good that there are now a lot of great options for controllers and more DAWs. They are using it more than ever before. But what about MPE compatible plugins? Well, I think we're in a bit of an awkward spot here. On the one hand, more and more plugins are MPE ready, but it's hard to find presets that are made for MPE. So you might have to build them from scratch. For example, Serum, Bass Plant, and Pigments, 3 great soft synths, all MPE compatible, but all I could find for Serum was this one MPE preset pack. For Pigments, Arturia, they released a good size preset pack, and Faceplant, Expressive E, they made this giant preset suite, but that's all I can find for those 3. And it seems that sound designers and plugin companies, they're waiting to see if the MPE community grows before they invest their time and resources into more products. For now, the best MPE synth plugins are made by MPE first companies like Equator 2 from Rolly and Noisy 2 from Expressive E. Both are great, but it's going to be another plugin that you'll want to learn. And speaking of learning curves, no matter which MPE device you pick, there's a learning curve, but at least it's exciting. It's not so much learning how to use the gestures as it is learning how to play cleanly. I didn't realize how sloppy my playing was until I started playing the Osmos. It's kind of an acoustic MIDI hybrid thing, so your hands really require a lot of dexterity, a lot of precision that you don't really need when playing standard MIDI. But I will say that as you improve, it is so satisfying to hear what you can do when you get the performance just right. My quick advice is don't try to master every gesture at once. I would find a preset that pairs well with a gesture that you like. I would practice a lot, and before you know it, you'll be gulping down the MPE Kool-Aid. Cool, so I hope this video got you way more excited about MPE, but if you're still leaning towards standard MIDI, then you might be interested in the Control S61 Mark III. It's a great MIDI keyboard that just offers the aftertouch gesture. I have a video all about it right here, so check it out. Thanks for watching. Later.